We just talked about naming ionic compounds. This is another group of compounds, molecular compounds. We identify these because they have two or more nonmetals. Nonmetals. No metals. We are only going to learn how to name binary molecular compounds. So they're going to have two nonmetals. This set of rules tends to be the easiest for students to understand, and so it becomes their favorite, and they want to use it for everything, but you can't. Only for two nonmetals. Not three nonmetals, not two elements and one of them's a nonmetal, two nonmetals. What we do is we have a prefix that gives us the number of this element. The first element just has its element name. Then we have a space and a prefix with the base name of the second element and its ending changed to "-ide". So we're doing the same kind of thing with the names. The first element just uses the element name, and the second one changes the ending of its name. But these compounds don't have any charges because nonmetals form negative ions. And if you have two negative ions, their charges are not going to add up to zero. There are no ions in molecular compounds. We cannot predict their formulas just based on positions in the periodic table. And some of these will form multiple compounds, and so we need numbers. And so the numbers show up in the name as prefixes. These are the prefixes we need to know. These are used in many other areas as well, so most of them you probably know. Mono is 1, di is 2, tri is 3. Tetris kind of weird. Tetris 4. Have you played Tetris? You know, all those little funny blocks that fall in Tetris, they all have 4 squares in them. Tetris 4. Penta means 5, like pentagon, hexagon, 6. Heptagon's a little weird, that's 7. Octagon, nonagon, nona means 9, also sounds like 9. And deca is 10. Deca like decade, a decade is 10 years. So we need to know what those mean. Some little tweaks. If there's only one atom of the first element, we usually don't use the prefix mono. This is like an extension of chemists not writing the number 1 unless they have to. So if we look at CO2, two nonmetals, right? Carbon and oxygen, both nonmetals. So we would take carbon, oxide, but we would indicate the number of each using prefixes. So you might expect this to be monocarbon dioxide. But we usually drop mono for the first element. And so this becomes carbon dioxide. N2O, also known as laughing gas. There's 2 nitrogens, so that's dinitrogen, and there's 1 oxygen, monoxide. Now there's an O missing there, isn't there? Monoxide. Doesn't that look funny? Now we can't judge everything based on whether it looks funny or not, because a lot of things look funny to you that don't look funny to me, but that looks funny. When we have this O here, what it's saying here is when the prefix ends with a vowel and the base name starts with a vowel, the first vowel is sometimes dropped. So in monooxide, which looks like monoxide, we're going to drop the first O. Sometimes. I am not going to trick you on this, okay? Triiodide, you might expect that we would drop the first I, but no. And that one ends up with 3 vowels in a row, I-O. So for a beginning chemistry student, it's sometimes a little bit of a mystery when we drop that vowel and when we don't. And so I will not try to trick you with this on an exam question. And on the worksheet, if you make a mistake there, I won't count it wrong, I'll just correct it. And you'll kind of get a feel for it, and it's just not going to be a big deal. But if you see sometimes where that vowel is missing, yeah, we do that sometimes. There should be more examples there, but I guess maybe I didn't put any because we don't really need them that badly.